Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Intellectual Exchange. I'm thrilled to introduce our guest today, Dr. Patricia Gonde, a distinguished educator and influential advocate for education, recognized for her unwavering commitment to excellence and empowerment. With over 32 years of teaching experience, she currently serves as the head of academics at Lusitania Primary School in Harare, Zimbabwe. Dr. Gonde's influence extends far beyond the classroom as she actively amplifies student voices and instills 21st century skills, amplified by her leadership in taking students to prestigious international events such as COP28 in Dubai. Her dedication to global advocacy is further demonstrated through her roles as a board member of Imani for All and Emerald Education Services, as well as her position as the country chair for G100 Women and Ladies for All Nation International, where she shapes educational policies and programs that promote peace, gender equality, and the fulfillment of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Furthermore, Dr. Gonde has founded initiatives such as Girls/Women Leading Our World and a Heartfelt Teachers Network Global, aiming to empower girls, women, and educators through targeted programs. Her compassionate humanitarian effort in Zimbabwe involves supporting vulnerable individuals and providing resources to underprivileged students. Reflecting her deeply held belief in the transformative power of education, as an author of motivational literature, Dr. Gonde continues to inspire and impact lives on a global scale. This combined bio underscores Dr. Gonde's remarkable achievements, her tireless dedication to educational advancement, and her profound impact as a global educator and humanitarian. We'll be discussing about the incredibly important topic, cultivating a growth mindset through STEAM education. In today's rapidly changing world, it is essential that we equip our students with the skills and mindset necessary to thrive in the face of challenges and drive innovation forward. And what better way to do that than through STEAM education, which integrates science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, fostering creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills and abilities. Throughout this evening discussion, we will explore the strategies and approaches educators can use to cultivate growth mindset in their students, empowering them to become resilient innovators. So without further ado, let's dive into the question. I'm going to ask the first question. The first question is, what do you see as the key components of fostering a growth mindset in students through STEAM education? Over to you, Dr. Gonde.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I am so happy today to have this opportunity to discuss on a topic that is very close to my heart, especially when we are talking about STEAM education. I know that most of us know about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But there's an addition of arts. We are also looking at the arts. So we want to discuss on how we can nurture creative problem solvers, critical thinkers, and we want to instill in our children the confidence, how they can grow up as confident young leaders. But we know that when you are talking about STEAM, our journey is not only about academic excellence, but here we are talking about shaping a well-rounded citizen who leaves their mark on this world. Like what you heard, yes, I'm talking about Lusitania Primary School. That is where I am here in Zimbabwe. And at Lusitania Primary School, yes, we focus on academic excellency. We focus on environmental stewardship. We have done so much in terms of inclusive and diverse STEAM programs, which I'm going to discuss. And we have also had global recognition because we have traveled so much in the world. Last year, went to Dubai, Portugal. We went to India, yes, on cultural exchange programs. Here we are saying that we want to develop a holistic. We want to instill holistic education in our students. So when we are talking about STEM, what do we mean then? When you are talking about the growth mindset, because most of you know that literature tells you about so many people who have talked about the growth mindset. But here I'm referring to applying the principles of a growth mindset when we are learning on STEAM education in the context of STEM education. For example, when you are talking about growth mindset, we are talking about how are we recognizing the skills in science, in technology, in engineering, in arts, and in mathematics, and how can we develop them over time in practice and effort. And we are also, when we are also looking at that, we are also looking at the persistence, the efforts of the students that we have. And then we are encouraging our students to explore new ideas and new approaches without failure. We want to instill positivity, growth mindset, without the fear of failure. And because when we are learning, we learn from each mistakes, and each attempt that we do provides valuable feedback and learning. So now, what then are the key components in fostering a growth that we are looking at when we are learning STEM education? When you think about STEM education, like I said, we want to look at growth mindset, yes, positive attitude. Those skills, those attitude, our children should have a positive attitude, especially when I was growing up, as girls were discouraged to doing science subjects, and they would say girls should be doing arts. So now we want to encourage that inclusivity especially also in girls. We are looking at then for us to talk to those students, for them to believe us, they need to have a positive attitude that we need to promote, especially in our children. Because if we don't have that positive attitude, the students are bound to fail because they do not believe in themselves. They believe that attacking science subjects, attacking technology, they are bound to make mistakes. But as I said, that mistakes are the natural part of learning. It's part of its process. We all learn from mistakes. These are our stepping stones. Without mistakes, sometimes we do not succeed. So we need to also to cultivate a love for learning, especially with our students. We need as teachers to create that positive environment. We need to create that environment that makes our children be curious. And how do we do that? We do that by having engaging lessons that can make our children ask questions. Yes, we are learning about the circulatory system. How can you just learn about the circulatory system when you are just doing it theoretical? No, you have to bring maybe the heart, they need to dissect depending on the age group of the children. So I was just talking about positivity, the attitude, the love of learning. So now, how can we do this? We can do this by engaging, having engaging projects, challenging projects. It can be in science, it can be in technology, it can be in engineering. arts or in mathematics, then we need to provide, for example, here in Zimbabwe, I can talk about our education system. You know that we used to have a theoretically based education system, especially when they are leaving high school. Children just used to write theory and it didn't have that practical aspect. But now we have introduced project, the continuous assessment learning areas for students. Each and every student has to do projects, and those projects, they carry 30% of the exam mark, and the theory is 70%. So you need to have challenging, relevant projects. When I'm talking about relevant projects here, I'm talking about you look at the community that you are in. There are problems and they need solution. Like I said, we need problem solvers. So for example, near my school, there's a lot of congestion, so much that children come to school late. This is primary school education. So we take our students, go to the main road, discuss about what do you think is causing this congestion? Can you please come up with a project to solve this congestion? And the children will come up with wild ideas. We need a spaghetti road. We need a roundabout. So those are solutions that they come up with. They also draw those projects. They also make the models. So that's cute. They become so curious. So they do those projects. Some come up with theoretical projects. Some come with practical projects. You can, even in mathematics, we have this classroom. What does it need? It needs painting. But yes, we call some contractors to come and paint, but we have to think about it. What do we need? How much paint do we need? They have to measure how everything. So we are relating it to a maths project. But now they can also relate it to a creative writing project. Yes, there's congestion at our roads. What are the solutions? They come up with a creative story, poetry. So we need challenging and relevant projects that push our children to their boundaries and also to real world problems. Yes, we had COVID-19, but we have some schools that didn't have masks. What do we need? Children then are able to make masks. They were able to raise money. And then I can go on and go on. And then when we are talking about the growth mindset in terms of STEM, I've talked about embracing failure as a learning opportunity. I've talked about engaging curiosity and questions, especially when children are doing projects. We had a problem, a project that we did with our students, and we got a prize last year. It was on reusing plastic. It was a very interesting project that we did. So what we did was we wanted to reuse plastic liter bottles, but we had to take the children to go. So I was talking about the key components of introducing STEAM education in our schools. I was talking about the projects that we did last year. It was called the Suchana project, whereby we wanted to network. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. We wanted to reuse plastic, but these were primary school children. So they sat down and talked about it. So one key component that I want to illustrate here is about on collaboration. When these children are doing their projects, there is need for collaboration, there's need for teamwork. So they put themselves into two groups, Group A and Group B, and they came up with projects. They looked at the problems that we're having in the school, and we wanted to reuse plastics. So one group came up with an idea, here at school, we don't have any weather instruments, but I think we can now use that plastic to make some weather instruments. That was a project that one group thought about. Then the other group thought about giving back to the community. Near the school, we've got an orphanage that is there. So it has got children of school going age, primary school children. So they sat down and said, maybe we can just make a prototype of things that these children need at school. So they made some pencil cases using plastic bottles because they wanted to give to the community. These were thinking about their community, but these went far beyond into the community to think of those children. And they made some beautiful pencil cases out of it. So these are two groups coming up with problems in the community, real world problems, and now they come up with projects. They made these prototypes and they won that project. The two projects, they were the best projects because there were more than 500 schools that entered. But we came up number one. It involved so many countries. So I want to illustrate here collaboration. And after that, children were able to make a PowerPoint. Another key point component of it is providing constructive feedback. They made some PowerPoints. They were able to explain why they came up with those projects. And at the end, they won something. They were able to celebrate their progress, their failures, their efforts that they put together. So those are some of the key components that I want to talk about, especially when we are doing with STEM education. We have our children, especially in fostering a growth mindset, our children have to have engaging STEM activities throughout the subjects. For technology, we do robotics, we do coding. That's in terms of technology. In terms of engineering, they were able to make models of the road, of the solution to the road that had congestion. So much, and some of them did artwork, rare disease artwork. It was so interesting. So we have so many things that we can do in terms of STEM education, but they have to be engaging. They have to be interesting. Thank you.
Wow, absolutely interesting, amazing. What I picked here is that embracing failure as part of a learning process, collaboration, and inclusivity are fundamental to fostering resilience and innovation. It's inspiring to hear how you integrate hands-on experience to your approach. Well done. It's a brilliant experience that, in fact, I would like to collaborate with you in future. Well done. Okay, my next question will be, how can educators integrate STEAM education into their curriculum to nurture resilience and a growth mindset in students? Did you get my second question? That's my second and last question. Did you get it?
All right. Thank you so much. I thought I had the question well.
Okay.
How can we integrate?
Yes. How can we integrate
Yes,
STEAM education?
I don't know whether Barbara got it. Maybe you can repeat it.
Okay, should I repeat the question?
I will understand now when you are answering it.
Okay, integrating STEM education, especially to nature resilience and the growth mindset in our students, requires a multidisciplinary approach, because here we are looking at, for example, in our school, we follow two curriculums. We've got the local curriculum, and also we have got the Cambridge curriculum. So for us, we have to integrate all of these into those curriculums. For our Cambridge, we do science, we do maths and English, and then for the others, we have the local languages, the heritage studies. So it has to be an interdisciplinary approach, whereby now we sit down as staff members here, because we now want to design a curriculum that integrates these into our own curriculum. Like I said before, looking at science, what is it that you want to introduce? Looking at maths, what is it that you want to? You can integrate science, maths, and English, like I told you, or when I was explaining the projects that I did. So the best way that I think of integrating it is, like I said, we do projects, like the colors I explained. Project-based learning is the most, I think, that we can use to implement these to STEM in our education, so that we make learning to be interesting. We give our students problems, and they come out with solutions, or they think about problems that are there in the community, and they come up with projects that they can do. We want to develop 21st century skills. When I'm talking about 21st century skills, we are talking about collaboration, communication. We are talking about the integration of IT. We are talking about digital literacy. We are talking about technological information literacy, all of them together. So we need to integrate these ones, and also for us to impart those 21st century skills into our learning. And this can happen when we have a 21st classroom and a 21st century teacher who can come up with ideas and move away from the traditional method of teaching, where we need our children to own their learning. That's why I'm saying, when you are looking at problems, they have to look at the solutions themselves, come up with those solutions. We need to include those activities that require our students to reflect on their learning process. And they need also to look at challenges that they are facing. How do we come up with strategies to solve this, and what they might do differently next time? For example, our student made some weather instruments. Unfortunately, I didn't make a PowerPoint. I should have shown you. But some of the prototypes they made, they said they needed improvement. This is what we think our children need to think critically. And also, we need to have in our classrooms those free learning spaces. Gone are the days when Patricia was sitting in group 1 from January to December. Some children who are good at science, they go that way. Some children who are good at maths, they go. We need to have free learning spaces, not that our children are stuck in one space. And we need to create that classroom environment that can be reconfigured according to children's talents for different STEM activities that they can do. Thereby, here we are promoting a flexible and adaptable mindset. So we are talking about students. Our teachers also, they need continuous professional development courses, so that they are far, far ahead of our students. Think of me in the classroom, and my students talking about coding, about robotics, when I don't even know what they are talking about. So we need to provide our teachers with that training on growth mindset principles, and how these can be integrated into STEM education. And as educators, I think we need to model a growth mindset ourselves too, so that we can help our students. In our teaching, yes, we are teaching about science, we need to also to incorporate the arts, the creativity. When you are talking about teaching about science, yes, we are teaching about water. Write a poem about water. We are already into English. Okay, and now we want to talk about displacement method. We are now in mathematics. Draw those water droplets and come up with something. We are already into arts. So we need to incorporate that A, the arts and creativity, so that we leverage the A into our STEM education, and encourage our students to creatively express and have what we call design thinking in whatever they are doing. I hope you can you understand what I'm talking about, because here what we are focusing on, the goal is not we are not focusing on to teach STEM content areas, but we want to instill a set of attitudes and skills that will benefit our students even throughout their lives, because they are now applying it. And we are talking about not only teaching science, technology, we are not only teaching about arts, but we are also teaching about other skills that will benefit our students. Those soft skills are needed throughout their educational journey. I think, I don't know whether I have answered you there.
Wow.
In terms of incorporating it, we incorporate it in our subjects. Any subject, be it social studies, be it heritage studies. Yes, we are talking about food in heritage studies or in science, but incorporate, put a bit of technology, put a bit of art, put a bit of maths in it. We are incorporating, we cover quite a lot of ground by doing so. I hope I've answered you there.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I've really learned a lot from you today. Teacher Barbara, do you have anything to say before the closing?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to thank you so much. I am really happy to hear you. I nodded all the time at everything you said. I hearted everything you said because I'm so with you in this. I love when you talk about these projects and that you have to incorporate all the STEAM education into the subjects. This is so important for the students. And thank you so much for doing that and for telling us to do so. So we need educators and headmasters to foster this. So I'm happy and glad to.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And this needs a positive mindset, a growth mindset. Like I said, we are looking at the skills, we are looking about the attitude, we are looking at about adaptability. Are our children able? Are we preparing our students to adapt to new challenges? Are we problem-solving skills, persistence, even in times of failure? They've made this and this is not coming up well. Are they collaborating? And this, we are aiming at lifelong learning at the end. That is our main focus.
Wonderful.
At the end, we are instilling a love of learning that persists even far beyond the four walls of the classroom. And we need to inspire our students to continuously, especially to seek knowledge and self-improvement whenever they face challenges. That's what we call resilience and a growth mindset.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe that our teachers, after listening to your presentation today, this discussion